You have probably been told for years that eggs are the gold standard for protein. Maybe you start your day with one or two, feeling confident that you are doing the right thing for your muscles, your bones, and your health. But what if I told you that there are other foods right in your local market that contain more protein than eggs and offer even better support for muscle strength after age 60? Most people over 60 are quietly losing muscle every single year. This process, called age-related muscle loss, happens so gradually that you do not notice it until one day you cannot lift a heavy bag or you struggle to rise from a chair. You may blame old age or think you just need to move more, but the real issue runs deeper. Now here's the part no one talks about. Even if you eat a high-protein diet, your body may not be absorbing or using that protein effectively. That's right. It's not just about how much protein you eat. It's about what kind, how your body processes it, and how it fits into your overall system of muscle repair. Eggs are good. That's true. They contain about 6 grams of protein per egg. But when it comes to reversing muscle loss after 60, that's simply not enough, especially if you're depending on 1 or 2 eggs a day and thinking that's enough to rebuild lost strength. Here's where it gets even more interesting. A growing body of research is now showing that some lesser-known foods, many of which are plant-based or fermented, actually contain more usable protein per calorie than eggs. Even more important, some of these foods offer additional compounds that directly help your body rebuild tissue, support bone density, and reduce the inflammation that slows muscle recovery. But these foods are rarely mentioned in mainstream nutrition advice. Why? Because the egg industry is massive. They've spent millions of dollars over the past few decades marketing eggs as the perfect protein. You see it in every commercial, every magazine article, and every so-called healthy breakfast menu. And because many doctors and dietitians were trained using old information before this new wave of muscle research became clear, they still repeat the same outdated message: just eat eggs. But if you're over 60, your needs are not the same as they were at 30. Your muscles respond differently. Your digestive system absorbs nutrients differently. Your body needs help not just with building protein, but with reducing the hidden causes of muscle breakdown. Things like low-grade inflammation, insulin resistance, and hormonal shifts that come with age. So today, I want to show you something different. Something backed by real research and tested by people just like you, seniors who were once losing strength but turned things around by changing what they put on their plate. And no, I'm not going to tell you to take a bunch of pills or eat strange superfoods that are hard to find. Everything I'll share with you today is simple, natural, and available in most grocery stores. But the results can be life-changing, especially if you've felt weaker lately or noticed that your muscles don't bounce back the way they used to. Shall we begin? Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I see among older adults, thinking that a small amount of protein at breakfast is enough to maintain muscle. It sounds reasonable. After all, you might not feel hungry in the morning. Maybe you have a cup of tea, a slice of toast, and a boiled egg. That feels like a balanced start. But the truth is, this habit is quietly setting you up for long-term weakness. Here's why. As we age, something called anabolic resistance sets in. It simply means your muscles don't respond to protein as well as they used to. When you were younger, just a little protein could trigger muscle repair. Now your body needs more, and it needs it at the right times of day, especially in the morning when your metabolism is waking up. A single egg, or even 2, just doesn't cut it anymore. Let me introduce you to Helen. Helen is 72 years old. She spent most of her life working as a school librarian. She lives alone in a small house outside Denver, and she loves gardening. Last year, she started noticing something strange. She could no longer push her wheelbarrow up the slope in her backyard. Her arms felt weak, her legs tired quickly, and she had a hard time climbing the stairs. Her doctor told her to exercise more, so she joined a walking group. But even after months of walking every morning, her strength didn't return. In fact, she felt more exhausted than ever. She started to wonder, what was she missing? A dietitian friend of her daughter visited one weekend and took a look at Helen's meals. Breakfast was usually one boiled egg, a piece of whole wheat toast, and a banana. Lunch was a salad. Dinner was chicken and vegetables. On paper, it looked decent. But here was the catch. Helen was only getting about 10 to 15 grams of protein before noon. That's far below what an older adult needs to stop muscle loss. For someone her age, aiming for 25 to 30 grams of protein at each main meal is ideal. That's because your body can only use a certain amount of protein at once, and spacing it throughout the day helps maintain balance. So they made a simple change. Instead of just a boiled egg, Helen started having a bowl of Greek yogurt mixed with chia seeds and a few chopped nuts. 1 cup of Greek yogurt has nearly 20 grams of protein. Add in the seeds and nuts, and she was getting over 25 grams, all before lunchtime. Within just a few weeks, Helen noticed something remarkable. Her legs felt sturdier during walks. She could pull weeds without needing a break every few minutes. By the end of the month, she climbed the stairs carrying a basket of laundry without holding the rail. No pills, no expensive shakes. Just one powerful food swap at breakfast, from a light egg-based meal to a protein-dense one. Greek yogurt, especially the plain, unsweetened kind, is one of the most overlooked high-protein foods for older adults. It has more protein per serving than eggs. It also contains calcium and probiotics, which support bone health and digestion, 2 things that become more important as we age. So if you're starting your day with only an egg or a bit of toast, I urge you to take a second look. That first meal isn't just fuel. It's your body's opportunity to stop muscle loss in its tracks. And with the right choice, like Greek yogurt, you give yourself a stronger start every single day. Now let's talk about something that surprises many people: how certain plant-based foods can outperform eggs when it comes to building and protecting muscle after 60. Yes, plant protein, not just for young athletes or vegans, but for older adults who want to stay active, independent, and strong. Many seniors I speak with believe that animal protein is the only complete option. They think plants aren't strong enough to support real muscle repair. That's an old myth, and it's time we retire it. Your muscles don't care where the amino acids come from, animal or plant. What matters is getting enough of the right ones at the right time in a way that your body can use. This brings us to chickpeas, one of the most powerful muscle rebuilding foods that barely gets the attention it deserves. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank is 68 years old, a retired plumber who lives in Arizona. He's not the kind of guy you would expect to eat chickpeas. For most of his life, he believed that meat was the only real food that kept him strong. But a few years ago, he had heart surgery. After that, his doctor recommended cutting back on red meat and eating more plants. Frank was skeptical. At the same time, he noticed something else. His arms and shoulders were getting smaller. His grip strength weakened. He had trouble lifting the grocery bags he once carried with ease. His doctor told him it was sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle that comes with age. He asked, "What can I eat to fix it?" His wife, a lifelong Mediterranean cooking fan, made him a chickpea salad one afternoon. It had chickpeas, olive oil, lemon juice, red onions, and fresh herbs. Frank rolled his eyes, but he ate it. Then he had it again the next day and again for lunch that week. What he didn't know was that 1 cup of cooked chickpeas contains about 15 grams of protein, the same as 2.5 eggs, plus a powerful blend of fiber, iron, magnesium, and folate. That combination supports muscle metabolism, reduces inflammation, and helps your body recover faster after activity.
Within 2 months, Frank's energy returned. He began doing light resistance exercises again. His arms filled out. He could carry heavy groceries without strain. He told his friends, "I thought chickpeas were rabbit food. Turns out they are power food."
And here's the science behind it. Chickpeas, along with other legumes, are rich in leucine, an amino acid that plays a major role in muscle protein synthesis. That's the process your body uses to rebuild and maintain muscle tissue.
For people over 60, getting enough leucine can make the difference between slowly wasting away or holding on to your strength. The fiber in chickpeas also helps control blood sugar, supports healthy digestion, and feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which scientists now believe plays a huge role in inflammation and muscle recovery. So, if you're not a fan of salads, there are many ways to enjoy chickpeas. You can blend them into hummus, roast them in the oven for a crunchy snack, add them to soups or stews, or mash them into veggie patties. They're affordable, versatile, and incredibly nourishing. You don't need to give up eggs, but if you're relying on them as your only source of protein, it's time to add something new to your plate. Chickpeas can do more than just fill you up. They can help restore the strength and energy you thought you had lost forever.
Now we are going to discuss something that almost no one talks about. Even people who are eating all the right high-protein foods like Greek yogurt or chickpeas. It is a group of common foods that seem harmless, but quietly block your body from absorbing and using that protein properly. And unfortunately, many older adults are still eating them every single day, believing they are making a healthy choice. We are talking about sugary, highly processed carbohydrates, things like boxed breakfast cereals, white bread, flavored yogurts, and packaged breakfast bars. These foods may seem light and convenient, but they cause your blood sugar to spike quickly. When that happens, your body releases a large amount of insulin to bring sugar levels down. That spike in insulin, over time, can lead to a condition called insulin resistance, meaning your cells stop responding to insulin the way they should. And when that happens, your body struggles to move amino acids, the building blocks of protein, into your muscles. Without that process working properly, even high-protein meals cannot rebuild your strength the way they are supposed to. Let me introduce you to Marie. Marie is 75 years old, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She still teaches a few students in her home every week and enjoys crossword puzzles in the afternoon. She takes care of herself, eats what she thought was a balanced diet, and never skips breakfast. Her typical morning meal? A bowl of cereal, a banana, and a glass of milk. Sometimes she adds a protein shake or an energy bar if she is feeling ambitious. But lately, Marie noticed she was feeling weaker. Her arms trembled a little when playing piano. Stairs felt harder. She chalked it up to age and thought she just needed to move more. One weekend, her granddaughter, a college student studying nutrition, came to visit. She asked, "Grandma, what do you usually eat in the morning?" After hearing her answer, the granddaughter gently explained something Marie had never heard before. Those breakfast choices, even the ones labeled healthy, were actually interfering with her body's ability to use the protein from the shake or bar. Why? Because the sugar and refined grains were triggering huge insulin surges that made her cells less responsive to protein absorption. Marie was stunned. No one had ever told her that her cereal might be blocking her strength. So they made a few small changes. Instead of sugary cereal, Marie began her day with scrambled eggs and spinach. Some days she had steel-cut oats topped with Greek yogurt and walnuts. She swapped her protein bars for real food, like cottage cheese with fresh peaches, or lentil soup at lunch. After just a few weeks, Marie felt the difference. Her hands were steadier at the piano. She walked up the stairs with less effort. She even returned to her gentle yoga class, something she had quietly given up months ago. Science backs up her experience. When you reduce sugar and refined grains, insulin levels begin to stabilize. That improves how your body uses protein. It also reduces inflammation, boosts recovery, and helps protect against further muscle loss. And the good news? You do not need to cut out carbohydrates completely. Whole foods like quinoa, oats, sweet potatoes, and fruit provide steady energy without the blood sugar roller coaster. When paired with high-protein meals, they help your body stay balanced and strong.
So, if you have been eating more protein but still feel tired or weak, take a look at what you're eating with that protein. It could be the hidden reason you are not seeing results. Because eating for strength is not just about what you add to your plate, it's also about what you take away. Now let us talk about something that is often missing, even in diets that include plenty of protein. I am talking about collagen. It is not just for skin or beauty. Collagen is the main protein that holds your joints, muscles, and connective tissue together. And after the age of 60, your natural collagen production drops sharply. Without enough collagen, your muscles may feel weaker, your joints may ache more often, and your recovery after exercise or injury may slow down. The body becomes more fragile, and even simple movements can cause strain. Let me tell you about Walter. Walter is 66 years old. He lives in North Carolina and works part-time as a handyman. For years, he kept active, climbing ladders, lifting heavy equipment, even helping neighbors move furniture. But over the past year, he noticed something was off. His knees made a cracking sound when he squatted. His shoulders felt sore after painting a ceiling. And no matter how much chicken or tuna he ate, the discomfort lingered. At first, he thought it was arthritis. His doctor suggested rest, but that only made him feel stiffer. He tried a few over-the-counter supplements, but they made little difference. Then his neighbor mentioned collagen, not the kind sold in expensive powders, but from real food, bone broth. Walter raised an eyebrow. He had heard of it, but never tried it. Still, he was willing to give it a shot. He started drinking a cup of homemade bone broth every evening, made from beef bones, carrots, onions, garlic, and a splash of vinegar to help extract the nutrients. After 2 weeks, he noticed something unexpected. His joints felt smoother. His hands, which often cramped during carpentry, felt stronger. He had more energy in the mornings and less soreness after a long day of repairs. What changed? Bone broth is rich in natural collagen, along with amino acids like glycine and proline, both of which help rebuild connective tissue and reduce inflammation. Unlike standard protein sources, collagen targets areas most affected by aging: joints, ligaments, and skin. Recent studies show that when older adults add collagen-rich foods to their diet or take high-quality collagen supplements, they experience improved joint comfort, better mobility, and even faster recovery after strength training. But here's the key. Your body absorbs collagen best when it is paired with vitamin C. That means adding a squeeze of lemon to your broth or eating a side of bell peppers, berries, or citrus fruit can help your body actually use the collagen you take in. Walter now swears by his evening bone broth. He still eats lean meats, beans, and fish, but bone broth has become part of his daily routine. He calls it his liquid joint oil, and the results speak for themselves. He's back to climbing ladders, fixing gutters, and carrying toolboxes without hesitation. So if you've been focused on protein but still feel stiff or achy, it might not be about the muscles alone. It might be your connective tissue, and that's where collagen-rich foods come in. You don't need fancy powders or expensive supplements. Just start with a pot of bone broth a few times a week. Add a squeeze of lemon or some fresh herbs. Sip it slowly. It's one of the most comforting, healing things you can do, especially after 60. Because rebuilding strength isn't just about your muscles. It's about giving every part of your body what it needs to feel whole again.
You have just learned something that many people never hear, that eggs, while good, are not the only answer when it comes to reversing muscle loss after 60. We looked at how Greek yogurt can deliver more protein per serving and help you start your day stronger. We saw how simple plant-based options like chickpeas can offer not only protein, but also fiber, iron, and the muscle-building amino acids your body truly needs. We uncovered the hidden danger of combining protein with sugary processed foods and how that slows your progress without you even realizing it.
And we explored the powerful role of collagen-rich bone broth in healing your joints and connective tissue, giving you strength from the inside out. None of these solutions are fads. They are not hype. They are real foods, simple, affordable, and available right now in your local market. And they work, especially when you use them consistently, with care and intention. You do not need to count every gram. You do not need to give up your favorite meals. But you do need to be aware. Be mindful of what you put on your plate. Ask yourself, is this helping my body repair and rebuild, or is it just filling me up? Because after 60, every bite matters. Your body still wants to stay strong. Your muscles still want to work for you. All you need to do is give them the right tools, one meal at a time. If you found this helpful, I would love to hear your story. Have you tried any of these protein-rich foods? Have you noticed changes in your strength or energy? Please share your experience in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you want more simple, science-backed tips to stay active, independent, and healthy after 60, make sure you subscribe. This channel is here to support you with real answers that make a real difference. Your health is worth protecting. Your strength is worth rebuilding. And you are never too old to feel powerful again. Let us take this journey together. One step, one meal, one strong choice at a time.